What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another episode of Too Many Toys Jake. Today we're going to be doing a little more in-depth detail on my 1985 Buick LeSabre. If you guys haven't seen the first video, go check it out. We picked up this beautiful one-owner Buick LeSabre. So this is my 1985 Buick LeSabre. This is a one-owner car, a one-town owner car. So this was bought here where I live. This was always kept here in town. The gentleman always kept it in the garage, as you can see. It only has 68,000 original kilometers on it, which is super low. You don't see anything like this here in Canada, that's for sure. Usually these are all gone to the scrapyard or derby or something. This car is not per se a collector's edition, but the actual trim level itself is a collector's edition. And here's why. This car was produced until 1985. This was the last year of the big boats. So this was the last year of the rear-wheel drive, big cars like this. So they decided for the last year they were going to make a collector's edition. So what they did was they added trim, special interior, a special two-tone paint, as you can see, lots of chrome, wood grain interior, lots of small detail-y stuff. This is actually a very rare car. They only made about 1,000 of these. In this particular color, this one's a little bit rare as well, because on the other ones that I've seen, the colors are actually flipped. So the darker color is on the bottom and the lighter color is on the top. So this is a color you probably don't see very much. So let's just get more into it. I'll show you guys around the car now. I'll let you guys see what I got. I was going out for lunch one day, doing my usual thing, you know. I've seen this car parked in a certain spot for a while. I've actually looked at the car, not looked at it, went and looked at it, but seen where it was, looked at it, thought it was a beautiful car. Kept driving by, never thought anything of it. So the one day I went out for lunch, drove by the spot where this car usually is, and I noticed it had a for sale sign on it. Okay, didn't have a phone number, didn't have a price, nothing like that. So I stopped, I knocked on the gentleman's door. I was there for about a half an hour waiting for the gentleman to come. He was an older gentleman, a 90-year-old Italian guy, very nice. So he finally came to the door. It was kind of a shitty day out. It was raining, it was kind of cold. So we talked about it. He didn't really know what he wanted for it. He kind of gave me a price range. I gave him a price. He said, you know what? Come back when it's a nicer day. We can start the car up and we'll go from there. The next day comes. I was like, you know what? The next day is gonna be a nice day out. Let's just go out for a drive. Let's go see if he's there. I ended up picking up my grandfather, if you guys seen the video, and going for a drive and looking at it, and we ended up picking it up. I offered the gentleman $3,000. He said, you know what, sure, I'll take it. I had no negotiations, no nothing. So for $3,000 I got this beautiful 1985 Pontiac. We came back, the gentleman said, you know what, I need an hour. I just want to clear all this stuff out of the car, get the paperwork done, whatever. Okay, so he gets all the paperwork done, cleans out the car. We come back, we pick it up. Awesome, good to go. Now I got it home. I cleaned up the outside a little bit. It needed a good wash. It's been sitting for a while, so I did that. The interior still needs to be done, so don't hate me on that one. As for what we got here, guys, this thing is absolutely beautiful. The gentleman bought it brand new in the town that I'm from. It has never left the town that I'm from. It was bought and put in his garage, brand new. His garage has 3 layers of carpet, house carpet, and then he also put plywood boards underneath the tires. So this thing is absolutely mint underneath of it. The frame rails and everything that are normally bad on these cars, usually up around here and on the back, is absolutely mint. It was never winter driven. It was oiled every year, even though it wasn't winter driven. So just as a precaution. So this thing is absolutely beautiful. Now I'll tell you guys a quick story, kind of a funny one actually. So the gentleman that I got this car off of, like I said, had it for sale in front of his house. So I bought the car. I didn't negotiate with him. I didn't bust him down on the price or anything. I said, listen, sir, I have $3,000. I said, would you take it? He said, sure, no problem. Well, he was talking to my grandfather, and my grandfather said, sure. You know, they were talking in Italian. So he said, sure, no problem. Okay. So I get the car, I bring it home, I make a post on it, I make the video that you guys seen, and the gentleman's son, I'm not going to say any names, made a post stating that the car was supposed to stay in the family. The family was so upset that the car was gone and that they wanted the car back. But in that same post, they also made a mistake of saying that somebody paid only $3,000 for this derby car, or this old car, sorry, and that I scammed this 90-year-old gentleman. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. I have bought and had over 180 vehicles, and I have never once had this happen to me. So I messaged the gentleman, you know, to say in my piece, you know, the car was for sale. I didn't know I was supposed to go through the family, or didn't know the family wanted it. I made a deal with the owner and who was selling the car, and that was it. I brought the car home. He proceeded to tell me that he wanted to buy the car back. He wants the car back. The family wants it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But you know what? Once you say I scammed the gentleman out because I got it for so cheap, it's not about family anymore. It's about money. So we continue on. The gentleman says, will you please sell me the car back? You know, I say, you know what, sir, I'm going to just go through what I had planned with it. I'm going to clean it up, do what I normally do, and you know what, we'll go from there. Okay. So he messaged me back a couple of days later saying that the father, the gentleman who was selling this car, the prices that were told by him, by his son on his cell phone, just to show him what the prices were, that he was lying. This 90-year-old Italian gentleman who's owned very, very many successful businesses, who owns houses and rents them out, was lying. He just didn't know what he was talking about. Okay, so then the gentleman proceeds to tell me that he was lying, and that the gentleman, his son, who is a 50-60-year-old gentleman, showed him a price for a car like this online for $13,000. You know what, guys? I mean, I know these cars are rare and it's hard to find them, but $13,000, that's absolutely insane. So he said that he found one for $13,000, and because of what I do, etc., that I should have known the price of these cars, and that I actually ripped off the Italian gentleman, that I scammed him because I only gave him $3,000. So now, is it about money, or is it about the family? Because remember, at first he was stating that he wanted the car for the family, etc., but then he would have been happy getting $13,000 for it and sending the car on its way. So what do you guys think? He also said that I should have went to the family beforehand and asked the family if they wanted to sell the car. How does that make sense? I've bought, like I said, almost hundreds of cars, and I've not once had to go to the family and ask the family if I could buy it. The gentleman clearly knows what he was talking about, clearly knows what the deal was. So you know what, I'm sorry, but I don't think I scammed anybody. The car was for sale on the lawn. I showed up, I brought cash like I always do, and I got the car. So I want to know what you guys think. That's just a quick little story. It kind of gets me upset because, you know what, I'm usually very good with people. I don't rip people off. I don't, you know, negotiate to the point where they're crying or something silly like that, which he made it sound like. But he made a post stating that you know, I'm a bad person because I scammed a 90-year-old gentleman. Well, you know what, if the gentleman was 30 or 40, would I still be scamming him? You know, he gave me the price. So that's my story. You know what, guys, I just want to know what you guys think. You guys think I scammed the old gentleman, or do you guys think I did a proper thing? If I did, I'm sorry, you know, let me know, but I don't think I did. Anyways, that's a quick little story for you guys. Yes, that's a real story. I've never had that happen before. I just thought that was kind of funny. But you know what, guys, if the gentleman would have came to me and said, you know what, we want the car back, it was never supposed to leave the family, and never said a single thing about money or how much I paid or that I scammed somebody, then you know what, I would have said, sounds good, sir, give me an extra 500 bucks, I'll clean up the car, I'll do an oil change, I'll make it look brand spanking new, and here's your car back. But no, the gentleman wanted to be greedy, and he wanted to say that I was robbing the old guy for the car. So it is what it is, guys. I got myself a beautiful car. I know that it is worth a little bit more, but I'm not going to say what I think it's worth. But just because I know the price, I did not know it was $13,000, but because I know the price, I'm a bad guy. So right now, I just told you everything, a little bit about it. I think now I'll show you guys what is everything that's wrong with this car. Now, this car is not perfect, although it is close to it, and I guarantee you in Canada anyways, maybe the States, okay, you won't find another one like this. But let's go around it and let's just take a look. On the fender here, we got a little nick, and unfortunately somebody decided to touch it up with touch-up paint, and when they did, they sprayed it and it's got a little bit of overspray here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see the line there. So that needs to be touched up. I mean, okay, that's not too bad. I thought it had the original tires on it. It doesn't. It has some Tiger Paw XTMs, which were probably bought in the in the early 90s. He said that he's only put one set of tires on it. They are cracked. That's another thing. The tires need to be done. We'll take a look going down the side here. We got a nice little nick here, and unfortunately it's starting to rust a little bit. Nothing crazy though, but we like to call those whiskey dents, or, you know, oopsie dents. Rear tires again, same thing as the front. They're cracked, but they clean up nice and good. A couple little dings and scratches along here. Another thing I actually think is cool about these cars is they put rubber guard here from factory on both sides. So when you're driving and the rocks come and hit here, this will actually get all scratched up and all dinged. And on the new cars, they put a piece of plastic over here. And then every couple years you can take the plastic off and then have it replaced so that you actually don't get dings and nicks in here and all this starts rusting. So from factory, they put this on here, which is really cool. You don't see that very often. The top of the car, I mean, is exceptional. Maybe it is faded. The top of the car needs to be buffed. Well, the whole car does, but especially the top of the car. You can see there's a couple spots here and there. The roof is the worst. I mean, it can all be buffed out, you know, just little things like that that need to be done. We'll continue walking around to the outside. So this is actually the sticker from the dealership that he bought it from here in town, which is kind of cool. It is no longer there anymore. It actually turned into another dealership after that, and then that dealership they now tore down and they're putting up a new apartment. So that's that there, which is really cool. If you look here, unfortunately this plastic just keeps getting worse and worse. That needs to be fixed. It's going to be hard to find one of these pieces here. This plastic piece wraps all the way around. I don't know if that's going to be found. I've been trying to pick up the little pieces that keep falling off of that just so I don't lose it. Maybe I can glue it back together or something. I don't know. This side of the car, we got a couple, I think it's paint marks here, something like that needs to come off. It'd come off with your finger, but just a little work like that. The badges have lost their paint here, which is typical. I mean, the car does have 60, you know, almost 70,000 kilometers on it. So, I mean, it's typical. We got a couple of nicks here, a couple of nicks here. We have the same rust proof, or the same rocker guard like I was telling you about on the other side to protect the rock. There's absolutely no rust on this car. There are a couple door dings here and here. I don't know if you can see them, but a PDR guy should be able to get those out no problem. That's cross my fingers. And we got a couple more, you know, scratches and nicks here and there. Overall, the car is in great shape. It does need a little bit of work here and there on the outside, but it is very good. You won't find another one like this in Canada, 100%. And if you do, I'd like to find it. As you can see, the collector's edition badge. So this car itself is a collector's edition trim level. It is not a collector's edition car. It is an actual trim level. This is an actual collector's edition car. We got the limited here. So that's part of the actually the trim level here. So that's the outside of the car. Now let's take a look underneath the hood and see what we got going under there. So what we have here is a Buick 307 V8. These cars also came with, I'm not sure the size, but Chevrolet 350 diesel motor, which was kind of cool. I'm glad this one doesn't have it though, because it'd just be a headache. And then these ones also came with a 3.8 liter V6. Being the collector's edition, they came with a 307. Got AC, power brakes, power steering, the works. AC still works, which is kind of cool. These motors produce about 180 horsepower and probably just over that in torque. They are definitely not the quickest motor, especially since it's almost in a 5,000 pound car. The diesel, I'm sure, would pick up a little bit more from the get-go off the line with the torque, but this motor is just a nice cruiser driving motor. It's only got 68,000 kilometers on it. It's never been out of the car. All original. As you can see, it does need to be clean. We got a bunch of mice stuff underneath the engine bay still. I still haven't got around to cleaning that up yet, but we will in another video. It needs an oil change, stuff like that. Another thing that was wrong with this car when I picked it up, I'll show you, but the battery, these ones have the twist in or side post batteries, and I guess somebody didn't know that the actual nuts are supposed to spin inside those rubber pieces that go in the battery, and siliconed it. So when they siliconed it, the silicone went through the rubber piece out to the back and actually silicone itself to the battery. So there was no ground connection. Now, when I got the car, they were telling me that they were having problems with it starting, that the battery was iffy, they keep having to replace it. So I know why. I took it off, I cut all of the silicone out, put it back on, now it's charging. Unfortunately, the battery is shot from all of that not being charged properly. So that needs to be done. So that's another thing on the list I got to do. I just been boosting it because I haven't driven it that much. Also, there's some part of the radiator, I don't know if you guys can see it, that is actually leaking. They shoved a cork from a wine bottle and some sort of glue to stop it from leaking. It looks like it's coming out of an auxiliary port, like a heater core hose or transmission or power steering or some sort of cooler anyways. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't leak, but that does need to be fixed. Other than that, under here, I mean, everything is pretty well good to go. It does need valve cover gaskets. This one is leaking pretty bad on this side. It does need a good cleaning, oil change, probably an air filter. It's just I haven't gotten that much into this because I've been working on the 63 Plymouth. Make sure you go watch that video if you haven't seen it already. This is under the hood. Now let's go take a look in the trunk, see what we got. As you can see, we're in the trunk now. The gentleman put lots of carpet and everything just to keep it all nice. It's all original quarters. Underneath here is super clean. They usually rust out in the floor well there. That's all good. He had another set of mats in here, 2 sets of mats. No idea why, but 2 sets of mats in here. All the original jack is back there, spare tire, and you have all the stickers here, the jack instructions, the wire wheel instructions on how to get that out, which is kind of cool. And then you have the build sheet or the build sticker here that tells you everything about the car, all the options, the color, everything like that. Never been painted on, as you can see. Usually if they've been painted, you can see paint over top of the sticker where they taped it off, but not on this one, which is really cool. So that's the trunk. Also, you can see the trunk lip is absolutely clean and mint. Those are also known for going. So we got lucky on that one. Now, nothing to do left. Let's take a look on the inside and then we'll go for a drive. If you've never been to one of these, I will say that this car has legitimately the most comfortable seats probably out of any car you'll ever sit in. The only thing that this car was not optioned with was leather seats. It has the nice velour seats or whatever you want to call it. It did come with leather, but unfortunately this one did not, which I'm okay with. Leather cracks, leather you have to keep up with, you know, to try and make sure that you don't lose the color, you don't crack, stuff like that. So I much rather prefer this anyways. This car has 68,000 kilometers on it. It is absolutely beautiful on the inside. There's only a couple little things wrong with it, but we'll continue to tell you what's wrong with this car. It does need a headliner, as you can see. I got that quoted from a gentleman who's done interior stuff for me and my family for a long time. He quoted me $400 to get new material and get this all done, including the back portion in the back, a couple pieces that need done. I'll show you. So I'm just waiting for the material to come in now for that to get done. On the door, as you can see here, the wood panel, this is kind of just but the stickers come off on the top, I guess, from the gentleman rubbing his arm here. As you can see, this is what it looks like normally. So that needs to be done as well. Good luck trying to find that though. I mean, you'll never find that that sticker or something to wrap that with, unfortunately. Plastic scratches on them. The steering wheel is weirdly cracked here on both sides. I don't know if you pushed it here hard enough that it actually cracked it. That's the inside of the car, or that's all what's wrong with it. Now I'm going to take you guys off and we'll take a better look on the inside and I'll show you what it's all about. All right, so we'll give you a quick little tour, if you will, of the inside, starting with the door panels. So these are very nice door panels. As you can see, there's tons of chrome on it. There's a chrome strip down here. The actual door handle trim pieces are chrome. The buttons for the windows and the locks and stuff like that are chrome. There's actually carpet here as well. This is supposed to be chrome here, it needs to be cleaned up. And then there's also chrome for the door handle. And I mean, for 85, that's a lot of chrome on the inside. The steering wheel itself actually has wood grain in the middle, and then 2 pieces of, I guess, aluminum or something on the outside. and it's got an awesome feel. Once again, I know if you've never sat in this, it feels amazing, but just to grab these steering wheels and just play with the power steering on these cars. They got those one finger power steering, and oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. As you can see, these come with a special wood grain, collector's edition anyways. The wood grain and all the chrome. All the gauges have chrome bezels on them. As you can see, this car is 68,000 kilometers. No, that has never been spun over. Yes, I know that's true. The dash is absolutely gorgeous. It has no cracks. Usually they peel up here from sitting in the sun too long. Right here, it'll actually start to come up like this, and then it's very hard to get this piece back in. So the dash is absolutely beautiful. These have a electronic climate control push button, which you don't see, especially for 85. All your warning lights, your check engine light, your coolant, everything is here digitalized. So it'll show a picture of it instead of on the dash, which is actually kind of cool. I mean, you gotta remember, guys, this is 1985. This car also had a tape deck. I don't know if that's standard or if that is an aftermarket option with the collector's trim. Another thing that's kind of cool with this car is that this particular one still has the plastic pieces that go over the plastic. So see all the scratches there? It's actually a cover like on your, when you get a new phone, and that's still on there. Usually the dealer takes that off. Really neat. Same thing with this one. Plastic's on there, so you rip that off and that'll look brand spanking new. We got the Sabre collector's edition badge on the dash, just so you know that you got yourself a collector's edition car, you know, something really, really special. This side is what that other trim piece is supposed to look like, and that thing would polish up, I'm telling you, to look like a shiny paint job. Unreal. Definitely got some work to do on the interior, but this bad. As you can see, the bottoms of the doors are absolutely perfect. There is no rust. There's no rust underneath the car. I don't even have to get underneath of it to show you, but underneath the car is absolutely beautiful. In the back here, we have more wood. We have more chrome on the inside. That you don't see very often. Lots more carpet on the doors. And we even have the old school ashtrays, which you don't get in cars anymore, obviously, which is really cool. Lots and lots of chrome on the seats. Chrome with more wood grain sticker, I guess, or vinyl. The handles on the seats. The rear seats are absolutely beautiful. They are way, way, way comfy. I could sleep in a car like this. It is just super, super comfy. You don't find them like this anymore. And they don't make them as comfy, I can tell you that. If you ever get a chance to jump in an 80s car, 80s GM car with these seats, make sure you do. Make sure you check them out. So here's the other side. Absolutely mint. The same thing with the wood grain vinyl here. Beautiful, beautiful. You can see the two-tone here. So I believe these cars were actually came from the factory one color, taken out to get painted for the collector's edition. So they ended up just painting through the door jamb and then painting the half of the car the other color, which is really cool. So you don't really see that much these days either. As you can see, open the glove box. Something very special here. So this is very special. This is actually the purchase order for the car, and it shows right here what the car was brought for brand new. So this car was $17,627, brand spanking new. And I thought it was cool. He traded in a 1982 Ford, I guess Mercury Grand Marquis for this car. They ended up giving him a trade-in allowance of $7,800. Imagine that, $7,800 for an 82 trade-in. So that's pretty cool. He ended up paying $10,000 or whatever the difference was cash and buying it right out there, and then brought it home, put it in the garage. So this car does have a lot of paperwork. It also comes with what I thought is really cool, an owner's guide in a cassette, and it's never been open. It's still in the plastics. So try finding another one of those. I know it's I know you won't. Super, super cool. All right, guys, so I guess the only thing left is let's go for a drive. All right, guys, so I figured last thing we can do, I'll take you guys for a little drive so you can see how comfortable this thing is. This was Buick's last big V8 car. After this, it turned into the Buick Electra. kind of similar to the Buick Century. Last year of this size was the 85. They decided to make a collector's edition to celebrate the last of the big V8 rear-wheel drive land yacht. It's definitely a fine specimen of one of those cars. Find one of these in this condition is just absolutely unreal. To find a low kilometer collector's edition is even harder. Now, I did not know what this car was, collector's edition. When I picked it up, I thought it was just a normal, regular Buick. All the badges and everything like that. Realized what it was and absolutely fell in love with it. Kind of hard for me because I do want to keep this one. It's what I do, guys. It is my hobby. It's what I enjoy. You know, saving stuff and then sending it to somebody who's really going to care for it, really going to love it. Now, this car rides like a freaking boat. This car just drives absolutely beautifully, guys. It is so smooth. It is so comfortable. It is so quiet that it's just it's mind-blowing to think that this car, how old this car is, you know, being 35, almost 40 years old, and it just drives better than brand new cars, and it's more comfortable than brand new cars. You don't see that in new cars these days. They're so cheaply made. There's so much plastic. I really love this car. I wish I could keep it. I just wanted to share with you guys how much a great car this really is, and you know how well they used to build cars back in the 80s, or stuff like this anyways, and that they really don't build anything like this anymore. The Buick Electra was kind of a fail. It went to a front-wheel drive, smaller four-door kind of car. It didn't really do that well. And then I can't remember exactly what year, but I think sometime in the early 90s, they actually switched the name back to the Sabre, and then they went with the front-wheel drive V6 LeSabre, and I think they even had an Ultra Park Avenue, basically the same thing, that came supercharged. So kind of cool, but they do not make obviously the Buicks anymore. Buick is out of business. So is the Sabre, obviously. So it's really nice to see a car like this in this shape, especially in Canada, because you just don't find them. You don't find anything in Canada really that's old like this in this good a shape anymore. I'm happy the gentleman took very good care of it. You can't hear anything. It's just so quiet. The Marauder isn't even as comfortable as quiet. I mean, it is a comfortable car, but it is nowhere near as comfortable as this. This car is just, I just love, you just hop in this car and you just go to the beach, you take it out on Sundays for ice cream, just stuff like that. You just really take this car out and enjoy it on the weekends now. This car used to be an everyday car. It used to be a daily driver. It used to be somebody's, you know, these cars used to just be normal cars. Now they're becoming collector's items. They've been derbied so much, you know, like people just brought them to the scrapyards, just derbied them. They just didn't want them anymore. So to find one in this good a shape is just, it's just unreal, guys. And I'm super proud and super lucky and super fortunate enough that I was able to buy it. I want to know what you guys think about that story that I told you earlier. I want to know if you guys think I ripped that old man off. I mean, the gentleman told me a price. I brought cash. I bought the car. It was for sale. He was selling it, not his family. And then somebody just decided to go out of proportion and call me kinds of names and stuff like that, which, you know, I'm typically a nice guy, so I don't do that kind of stuff. But I want to know what you guys think. So write me a comment down below, you know, if I was in the wrong, if I did scam the gentleman, or if I did, you know, just a normal thing. I just bought a car, you know, gentleman had it for sale. I showed up with cash, and that's it. All right, guys, well, I think that my GoPro is about to die soon, so we're just about done this video. All right, guys, so I think that just concludes our test, or our drive here. Taking you guys out for a little drive just to see what the car's like. This thing is absolutely beautiful. I cannot say that enough, and I cannot say how much I love this car. If you ever get a chance to drive one, make sure you do, because they are super comfortable, super quiet, super nice. So I just want to say thank you so much once again for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this one. I love this car. If you guys have any comments or ideas or anything, or any questions about this car, please let me know. Shoot it down in the comments below. If you guys have anything to say or have any questions about the story that I told you, please leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you guys think. I don't think I scammed the gentleman, but everybody thinks differently, right? So please let me know on that. If you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, you know what's keeping you. I just want to say thank you so much to all my subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching my channel or watching the videos. I really appreciate it. It's very heartwarming to see everybody actually enjoying the videos. And you know, I was always scared to do this kind of stuff and, you know, be in front of the camera. So it's nice to hear, you know, stuff like that people are actually enjoying it and people are learning a little bit, and it gets them through their day. So thank you so much to everybody who watches the videos. I really hope you enjoy. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on another episode of Too Many Toys Jake. See you guys later.